Hello everybody, welcome back to another stream, and today we're gonna be playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Now hopefully this should be the last stream of Rise of the Ashes. Should be the last one. There's probably gonna be another one. February 25th, 9:47 AM, District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. This is the defendant lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where's Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth. Knowing you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. You know, the only reason this trial didn't get a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Skye will be found guilty. But you didn't do it. I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you had to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. You don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. If she's found guilty, you lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. February 25th, 10 o'clock AM, District Court, Courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, G, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel like she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd just like to make one simple request and then I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana! You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana... Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but has sufficiently proven this case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Her request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there is no need to further continue this trial. even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for a verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you'd have me be. With the sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh? To whom? To whom? Yes. As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Mrs. Emma Skye. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to continue. I don't care what you think, Mrs. Skye. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy. You'll live to regret this. Mark my words. Mrs. Emma Skye, please take the stand. Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Skye. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. This is correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember that this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, it most certainly is. Well, okay then. He sure gave in fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Alright, Emma, let's go. You and me. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. Got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Alright. Starting it already. Let's go. I think today we're gonna... well, not today, but like this testimony we're gonna have to press. Because I can't exactly contradict her on anything, really. Okay, let's go over our evidence one more time. So we have the badge, we have the ID card, we have the trophy, which was the halberd was removed at Gant's behest. Because you have a shield and there's a sword. We have Edgeworth's knife, the parking stub. He entered the lot at 5:12 p.m., but that doesn't really matter anymore. We have the panel. We have the blue badger. We have the autopsy report, we have the note, we have the cell phone, we have the floor plans, we have the photo, we have the shoe, the knife, the switchblade knife, which actually was in SL9. We have the luminol, which we're not going to use. We have the ID card record. We have the fingerprinting set, which we're not going to use. Screwdriver. We have the lost item report. Evidence room full of plans. We have the rubber glove. We have the evidence locker. We have the jar, the fingerprints, the video, the incident files, Neil's autopsy report from SL9, the team picture, which contains the trophy before this little halberd thing was removed, and the pot before it got bloodied. We have the evidence list, which we only have half of, and a piece of cloth which has Emma Sky's prints. And that's it. That is all we have. So, kind of a lot of evidence. But I think the best thing to do would be to press here. 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes. She was second in command under then Deputy Chief of Police Gant. Our sister. She was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Mrs. Sky used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I had always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Lena promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. Alright. The man coming took you hostage. So let me just press everything. A man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of that ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon fleeing the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky in Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall. What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were two people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. I almost forgot about Gant. Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors Award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assume that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I forget what it's on that instant. Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. Just then, the lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby, so the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind. I see. I told the detective about what I saw then. The detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. I'd like to hear more. She spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago. Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial. And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw? Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture. A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before. Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough? That's about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once. It seems to have been lost. Well, I have that picture. guess what? I have that picture. Drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right? Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes. That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken. But I did draw it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it. This picture that Emma drew. That reminds me. I guess I should check the evidence again. Well, anyway, let's continue. The scene that imprinted an image in your mind. Can you please describe it to us? The man. Well, I have that picture. It's on the back. It's on the back. And the picture, it's on the back. It's this, I'm pretty sure. The picture's drawn on the back of the evidence list in magic marker. I've got a very bad feeling about this. Okay. Well, I'm gonna save, because that's what I do. I'm gonna save because that's what I do. I am that kind of streamer. Alright. Here. This is the picture. Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you would insist on denying its existence. Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor... excuse me. I'm sorry, I just had lunch. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture. It may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold, this is the evidence list for the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over? Turn it... Ah! What's this? Yes, what is that? Hey, that's it! That's the picture I drew! Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. Why didn't you just give me the list to begin with? Why couldn't I just taken the other piece? I think that would be the thing I could do. It's like, here, I have one part of the list. Maybe we can tape it together, see what's on it, maybe expose Gant for his lies. I don't know, possibly. I don't know, possibly. That could be a thing that happened, but he didn't want to. I don't know, maybe. I don't know, maybe he had his reasons to not give it to me. Anyway, 2 years ago, only half the evidence in that case ever reached you. What? What? Order, order. But Mrs. Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list? Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor. Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor! Oh, you're alright, Mr. Wright. Your eyes are bulging from your head. If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth. It's possible. Let's see. Is something wrong? Do you even have to ask? Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list. It's that thing. The blue badger. That's that thing. That thing that was dancing in the evidence room. Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives. I guess he was out of scrap paper. Evidence list was stored and updated in the court record. Let's go. Very well. Witness, Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago? Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Emma's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant. Dang, you had all that time to fill it in. You had all that time to fill it in. And to think such a flash of lightning could... Why am I speaking in Emma's voice? To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind. I'm sorry, I was doing an impression of you. Was it good? Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw. Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Duck about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Yep. But is it really? Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything. Oh, I thought she did it as she saw it, and she had that much time to fill it in. During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Skye. 2 or 3 days later, the memory should still have been fresh in her mind. Excuse me, witness. Can you please tell us why this picture is painted all black? Yeah, that's what I was asking. Flash of light was so... yeah. The flashlight is so bright I could see the shadows. So at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall would come to your rescue. No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor. You were knocked to the floor? Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. Poor Emma. I'm just glad she wasn't hurt. What happened after the lightning flashed? Must have fainted. You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No. I'm sorry. The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. Do you really need to torture this girl any further? What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. Anyway, this picture. This picture shows exactly what I saw in that incident. I'm gonna press again. Hello, Cheese. How you doing? Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives. Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright? No, of course not. I'd better watch out, or he might find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me. That's good. Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture? Huh? Oh, well... That's strange. She claimed this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here. Is there? Wait, is there? There's a contradiction. I mean contradiction. Let me look. So they said that there's a contradiction in here. Stabbed in the back. Wait. He was stabbed in the back, but he looks like he's going for the front. Hold on. Stabbed in the back. He was not stabbed in the chest. I might save it here. So he said there's a contradiction in this little little thing. Yeah. It's clearly a contradiction in this picture. I'm gonna need to find it. So, we have the evidence list. I'm gonna look at it again. So you have this, which is sideways now. Hi, Tanya. We have this, which is the blue badger. We have this. I think it's the autopsy report, but I might save that for later. Why is this bloody then? Let's see. Joe Dark, serial murder. I think that it's the autopsy report. What do you think? Because that's what I think. What do you think? Because if you look at this, he looks like he's gonna stab him in the chest, right? Which is what she said earlier. But it says he was stabbed in the back, which is not the front, as you might have guessed. So I'm gonna do it. Yes, it is. You on my channel, Grind? Nice. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture that the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. Hey, Umut, welcome to the stream. Hope I said that. Or Umut, I hope I said that right. Yeah, it has to be the report. That's what I said. Yeah. What? But I still remember it like it was just yesterday. Just like it was yesterday. That's actually what she said. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report? Hold on. The music stopped. That's the best part. Right here. I think it's... did I get it wrong? I got it wrong, didn't I? I got it wrong. Hold on. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm gonna save a little earlier. This whole court is really dumb. It's kind of true, yeah. It's like, point out what the heck is wrong here for us, because we can't look at it. We cannot look at it for ourselves. We need you to tell us. I mean, look, this is a knife, goes this way into his head. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife this man is holding. Okay. I was looking at the place where it should have gone. Like if it goes at the perfect a perfect straight angle, then that would be where it goes. But it's the knife itself. Okay. Take a look at the knife this man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Okay, never mind. I was looking at the completely wrong thing. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah, what's the meaning of this? Okay, I was thinking about how he was stabbed in the back, but I guess that was not the point. Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. That's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. Wow, it's a tongue twister. I believe you were annoyed at the time. but she was sure she remembered correctly. She was sure That's a tongue twister. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. Stop calling me. Order, order, order. Are you saying that the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. Pirinoxia, hey! I know you're Mono. Hey, Mono. We're Pirinoxia now. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. Haven't spammed the reaction emoji. I can see that. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there's a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. If that's true, there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's? Could there have been one? Of course there's another one. Maybe. Someone gave me a voicemail. If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, I think there's another murder weapon, but it's not broken. That weapon is not broken. That's Edward's knife, and that's not broken. Yeah. The only weapon that's broken is this. Oh! Could it be the jar? I think this isn't used until later, but I think that this jar can also be broken, and a piece of it could have been used to murder him. I don't know. I'll keep going. Mr. Wright. In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us. I'm gonna save. I was not mentioning that one yet. Yeah, there's another murder weapon that could have been broken. The murder weapon is already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. It's the pot. It is the pot. If anything's broken here, it's you. Huh? I'm sure this must all be very amusing to you, Mr. Wright. But may I remind you that I need to go back. The real murder weapon, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. I got it. It's this. I got it. It's this. Shoot. No. No, I thought I got it. I thought I had it. It was the freaking... Hold on. This is another way it could have been done. Or maybe that was the... Look closer. Yes. I know what it is. I think I know what it is. Because, you see this? He removed this part. The halberd part. And then that was used. Because that tip is broken. So... The tip was broken. Maybe this could be it. I don't know. Let's try it. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. right here inside this picture. Well, I thought that the... Well, I guess because the thing didn't have it on it, that it didn't do the thing. Okay, alright. I was kind of looking too far into it. Okay, right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the awards ceremony. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? It's the broken murder weapon. Murder. Notice the award prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. Order. Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because the King of Prosecutors award knife was the murder weapon, and the murder and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising the knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. But the prosecutor was the one that actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Wait! I remember now. I remember everything. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? The one with that picture scribbled on the back. I knew it! This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. We're gonna figure this all out. Hopefully, maybe. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you've recalled, Mrs. Skye? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger. This should be interesting. Should be interesting. Yep. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. Sorry. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. What? Plot twist, the murder was the blue badger flying on the sky. He used the thing in his hand. Yeah, he used that thing in his hand to murder Marshall. This is certainly most unusual. Hey. Mighty yes. How you doing? Try impossible. The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. Is that a real sentence? The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. I think they messed something up here. I think they messed something up there. That would mean that would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop! Please don't pursue this any further. Lena, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Skye. We've already come this far. I don't think it is. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Alright, let's think about this. Let's do this. I saw that man raise his knife, but... Let's see. I like saving. Maybe OG PFP a name. Nice. Alright, yeah, YTS is, The Blue Badger didn't even exist 2 years ago. So what exactly did Emma see? I've gathered all the evidence. How people switching on witness stands really happens. Well, it's, well, I've seen... So, let me tell you. Just to put the piece of the puzzle together. So, I'm gonna explain this to you really quick. So, originally, I thought the witness stand was, like, pretty high up. Like, where... Yeah, the person on the witness stand teleports. I mean, Lana could have walked from the defendant's chair, could have ran from the defendant's chair to the witness stand, since they're on equal ground. I've seen bits of, like, the Ace Attorney anime, which actually puts into perspective where everything is. Which would mean the council, the defense council places don't make sense, but it's fine. Because this is, like, in the center of the room. It's like... This is, like, between the defense and prosecution. Like, kind of, like, back, and there's a center bit. But this actually looks like it's connected. It's not. It's just a trick with, like, the... It's just a perspective trick. Are you sure about this? Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him before. I even drew a picture of him here. But... It was the chief of detectives who thought of this hideous beast. And that was just this year. The Blue Badger didn't exist 2 years ago. It is all quite verifiable. I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. And now I finally remember. That was a water balloon. Do we have something that looks similar to Blue Badger? We probably do. Now I finally remember. Oh, brother. Just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing? Well, let's look at our evidence. Of course, we have the Blue Badger itself. We also have... wherever the heck this is. I don't know. You can only see the back of it. You can only see the back of this. Well, maybe... Check this. A clear handprint can be seen on the leather cloth. The print belongs to Emma. I think I'll keep this information to myself. Okay. Maybe something like that. Like a piece of cloth could be ripped from something that looked like the Blue Badger. But I think we press. I think what we do is press. His shadow. So you mean you didn't actually see his face with his winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation. If so, by all means, please tell us what the shadow really was. What was it? What was it Emma saw when that lightning flash minute saved? Let's think. Who is this Blue Badger really? I just might know. I don't know. The blue badger hadn't even been dreamt up with when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on this fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright. In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. I am a saver. What is it the witness saw in that instant? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look-alike. Well, let's look. Let's really look. Let's look at the picture. Well, let's look at the picture. We didn't really get a good look at the armor stand, did we? Point your finger first, later think of yes. Like a winning strategy. That's exactly what you do. Point first, think later. That's the Ace Attorney way. That is certainly the Ace Attorney way. The vase thing, are you sure? Are you sure it was the vase? Because this is... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. There is 3. That one's broken off, though. There's 3, but that one's broken off. The one that traces the blood... Yes, this. This thing. Maybe. You could be correct. You could be correct. I think you are correct. The mysterious blue badger was in fact this. But that's... what exactly is that? I believe it's some sort of jar. But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look like anything like the blue badger. Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. This. There's this. This. This isn't right. Crap. This isn't right. Crap. This is... Allow me to remind the worst minigame in the whole trilogy, putting this in the right spot. Allow me to remind the defense its case hinges on the witness's drawing. Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew. We cannot accept his claim. I've got to find just the right angle. Maybe we should rotate a bit vertically, a bit more horizontally? Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it. I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from. Well, screw you too. If you miss a single degree, it doesn't count? No way. Oh my god, there's no shot. Oh my god. Oh, H and... What are these controls? H, M, B, M. Why not W, A, S, and D? Oh my goodness. There's no shot. That's actually kind of funny, though. You have to be freaking exact with it. No, it can't be that. I have to be like this. Oh, that could be correct. Wait. Yes. You could be right on that. Because there is one that's broken. And they have to patch that up later. That's right. Maybe that could be it. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. I didn't mean to press... I tried to rotate it. Oops, I tried to rotate it. It's R. I pressed E by accident. That's kind of funny, but also really bad. Now we have to do that. That's kind of funny, but also bad that we have to do this. We have to be like pixel perfect with this thing. Imagine that penalty. I am so grateful it doesn't. If it had penalty, I would be restarting all over. I'd be restarting so many times if it had penalty. Alright, let's try this way. Nope. Come on. Come on. Alright. I'm sure cheese, I think cheese is right, but that this is the place that the bandage is. This is the place that the bandage is because it got broken off. I think you're right about that. It at least gives us a clue. I'm trying to make it think about how it could possibly angle up. How could it possibly angle up like that? I really, really think that you're right. I really want to think that you're right. Oh, I misclicked again. Why is it Q and R? It's Q and R, and E is right next to it. It's Q and R, and E is right next to it. So we have a vase, right? Oh wait, maybe I go at it from the other side. Maybe if I go at it from the other side. I don't know where this would get us, but... that can't be right, cause it branches off to this side. What? This is really hard. The bottom of the vase is the middle one. Ooh, maybe. Maybe that could be right. I don't know what that would be, but I guess it was broken. I guess it was broken off at that time too. But you could be correct. I'll try it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Come on. Come on. This is ridiculous. Upside down. What do you mean upside down? We said that was like the tip of the hat thing. But show the position, show the blue badger face. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I really don't know what to tell you. So the position that I saw the blue badger's face, I know. I'm trying to get the horn just right. Cause look, if I do this upside down, that doesn't work, does it? Oh, the chat delay is gonna be so bad here. I'm sorry about the chat delay. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about the chat delay. I don't know at what time you're referring to because of the delay. I'm sorry. It's annoying. Upside down. The chat delay is annoying. I think you're right about this, but I don't know how to make that be like that. Maybe it could be like this. Oh my god. I had no idea this was in the game. We need 3 horns, yes. Yeah, like this. That horn faces like that. That faces like that. I swear to god. Hold on, down. Wait, and. Are we done? Is it good? Are we done? Are we good? Do we fix it? Can we go home? Alright. I think you're right. I think you're right about this. Okay. Okay, chat. Do we send it? Do we send this? I think we do. Okay, I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it. Crap. Crap. Come on. This is crap. This is crap. And maybe this. The blue patch is gonna be sanity. Okay, I'm gonna try like this. I'm gonna try from this angle then. Yeah, chat delay sucks. Yeah, chat delay sucks, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try it like this. I'm gonna see what that does. Dang it. Just the right angle. Was it too much up? I don't know. I don't know if it was too much up. I couldn't tell you. You're fine. A little lower. Imagine you're in court watching Wright try to shape the vase correctly for hours. This is just the entire stream. Like, is this good? Am I good yet? Am I alright? Did I do it? Oh my god. I know about Phoenix, right, but if you could do it yourself, I know. I know. I wish this would just not be like... I wish there was some margin for error. Bit down. I wish y'all could do it yourself too. So I don't have to do it. It has to face like this. That's... This position is far from correct. I know. I think. Mo, you know about this. I don't know. You could draw it the way you would do it. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at it on Discord. I think that this being broken has something to do with it. I hate it because this works. This seems to work. Because you have this horn, and then this horn broken off. But I think I already did this. And it wasn't right. You made part I looked from a walkthrough. Well, I had to look through a walkthrough several times. I had to do it several times. Because you're better at puzzle games than I am. Cause well, you're better at puzzle games than I am. I don't know. You like fighting with problems till you solve them. Well, I know that you do this on your own time until you... I know you can do this on your own time until you solve them, but you know, with the way that streaming works, I kind of want to just keep going. Because I'm streaming, I kind of just want to keep going, and not really have... Because I don't want to be stuck on a part for hours. So I'll just, like, look at a tutorial if I need to. Because I've had to do that a couple of times. Just so I know what it is. But I think, so... Yeah, watchers can be bored, just like me. Yeah, viewers can be bored. Yeah. As much as it sucks, as much as I want to figure it out by myself, I want to keep the stream going. As much as I like solving things by myself. Because there's been, like, several episodes where I've had to use, the tutorials. I might just do it. I might just do what you did and use the tutorial. I might just use the walkthrough. Let me see. Ace Attorney. I'll use a walkthrough. So guys, I've been using this... So you've been doing it like this? It's like this? So this is about what Lunar showed me. Or Tanya. This is about what Tanya showed me. Like, approximately. That's approximately what Tanya showed me. I don't think this is gonna be right. If this isn't right, I'm looking at a walkthrough. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Okay. I am going to look up a walkthrough. I've had this very helpful walkthrough from Lacry. From this person named Lacry. And I'll link their walkthrough as always in the description. Every time I do it, I link his walkthrough in the description. So just give me a second. Go past the investigation part. Give me a minute. Let me skip ahead. Here's the picture. That's where I figured that out. That's the pot. That can't be. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to skip to where it is. Ah, here it is. Oh, what? Okay, hold on a minute. Let me try and get this exactly where he put it. Alright, I got a walkthrough from Lacry. So, let me give a description. So he did this. That looks about right. That's what she saw? Oh wait, that isn't right. Give me a second. Even they had to give it a couple tries. Dang. Even they had to give it a couple tries. Like this. I have it like exactly... I have it in... I have it in pretty much like exactly the position they have it. Nope. Is that what they did? Okay, here's what they did. I think I got it. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, here's what they had. Here's what they have. Is this right? No! Are you serious? That's what they had! That's what they had! No, that's what they had! I'm looking back. Hold on. Oh my god, so close. I had no idea this was in the game. I had actually no idea. I only know, like, the story. Not really the gameplay elements. Wait. That isn't like... Hold on. Let me think. I got it. Exactly like this kind of lines up like that. Do I need to line up like this? The pot lid only has, like, a little bit of space like this. I'm so close. Hold on. Am I good? Am I right? Am I correct? No, it's a little bit more up. Am I done? Like that. It looks like this. No, it doesn't look like that. Oh, Okay, am I done? Am I done? Is this good? I think I got it right. Okay. This is exactly how game developers increase the length of their games. That's not actually how it is. I looked at the walkthrough, and this is how they said it was. Yes, I did it! Well, is this a miracle or what? I will link Lacry's... I will link his tutorial in the description. Thank you, I would never figure that out. No one could possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. Oh my gosh. Oh! I was supposed to use that! In perspective. For perspective. There we go. I just needed that. No. It can't be. Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? It took 22 minutes and 45 seconds. I got sub 23. I got sub 23. Let's go. So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. Wait, I'm gonna save, because I'm not gonna do that. I'm not doing that again. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything. Indeed. Very well, then. Please tell us. What's different now that we saw... No, the witness saw this jar? You know, the murder weapon. Or not that. The location. I might try this a couple times. Location. Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. In a very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes, well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office. Are you implying that the murder moved the victim's body? There's another window. From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright? I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She says she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? That would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. When Phoenix figures it out but you didn't, it's a bit scary. Yeah, like, for instance, this tip of the knife, I thought it was like aiming for his front. And then that was the contradiction, because he was aiming for the front, but it was actually the back. But no, it was because the knife tip was broken off. It was a completely different reason. I got it right. I did the wrong formula, but got the right answer. Since the man who was knocked in the armor is carrying a broken knife, he would have to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. Yes, there is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course the perpetrator would have no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through with this. Mr. Wright, what is the matter? If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away is actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall, things are happening. Revelations are being made. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! Dies. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. What? What are you saying? I'm sorry, Mrs. Sky, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. You know something's wrong when you found the murderer without pursuit. Yeah. It's like, you found... Like, it just accidentally happened. Like, you know, he murdered him, but whatever. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If you don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. We certainly can't get dead people to testify. Well, actually, Maya here, that wouldn't be a problem. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touché, Mrs. Sky. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. Phoenix, I have evidence. Yes, I have evidence. Player, no, I don't have evidence. I mean, and that is what we call in the business bluffing. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die immediately. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life, in one manner or another. That's impossible. Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Such a message exists? Gotta think back to the court record. Let's save. I'm sorry I keep saving. The real murderer's name the victim may have left behind is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Mrs. Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There's only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it may be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence. It conveys a message from the deceased. Well, of course we got this. Well, of course, we so obviously got this. Point finger first and think later. That's the Ace Attorney way. That is the Ace Attorney way. Oh. Okay. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the message. And that's a piece of cloth with their handprint. Because that's really the only piece of evidence that relates back to her. There isn't really anything else. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. That's wrong, then that's wrong. This is the message from the deceased. Right. Now then. This is the message from the crab. Oh. Alright then. Well, that's the thing, I don't think. It's in the evidence. Hold on, I got this. Well, it's in the evidence. Trust me. It's in the evidence, trust me, bro. Look, check this out. Check this out. There's a message. Last messages are usually by blood. Or they could be by handwriting. Or they could be by handwriting. Because Goodman's dead. He wrote that. Goodman's dead, he wrote that. And then he wrote SL9. So, like, where did that happen? Wouldn't that be crazy? I mean, wouldn't that be crazy if that happened? And a blood loss under 10 minutes. I don't think that's really the... It relates back to your case. Message from Neil Marshall. That was Jake Marshall. That was a jar. That was a jar. What about this blood? What about that? A line of blood. What about that? Probably not. Probably not that. Rubber glove. It's a screwdriver. It doesn't make... That doesn't relate. That's the murder weapon. The closest I think the thing that I think makes the most sense is this, but that's the thing I think makes the most sense. But I'm gonna look at everything else, because that's really the only message. That's really the only message that we have. It could be a message, a different kind of message. But I don't think. Look at that blood in the jar. That's what I thought. Like, because look. That's just a line. Rotate it. What if we do the fun thing that's called rotating? Hold on. It's so hard to rotate. Hey, Brian Bates, how you doing? Ace Attorney. Yep, I'm trying to finish up. I'm trying to finish up Rise of the Ashes. Rise from the Ashes. Yes. Trying to finish that up. I don't really see a message other than that there's blood. I don't really see a message. I'll try it. I'll try it. If this doesn't work, I'll do this. I'll do this message. That's probably gonna be wrong also. I'll try it. If that doesn't work, I'll go the other one. You're playing again on PS4, so Steam's not the only way you can play the game. You got it? Yeah, I have it on Steam, so I can... Yeah, I have it on Steam, so I can stream it. But I did actually see the Great Ace Attorney on the Switch, like in a store, in like a used video game store once. So that was like I think a couple. Actually, I saw that yesterday. I saw the Great Ace Attorney on the Switch in a used video game store yesterday. So that was really cool. I didn't get it, but I thought it was cool that it was there. You play it on Switch? Yeah, but yeah, I have this trilogy and the next trilogy on Switch. You have a Sonic OC that's based on Phoenix, right? Cool. That's really cool. Actually, somebody Cheese made fan art of me in Ace Attorney. which I thought was really cool. I thought it was really cool that she did that. She made fan art of me in Ace Attorney. Hold on, I'm gonna do, if Cheese, I don't know if Cheese is here, but are you okay with me showing that to the stream? Because I think that'd be cool. Just give me a second. I will pull it up because I think it's. I'll pull it up because I think it's cool. If y'all want to see it, I can quickly show it, and then we'll get back to this, because I think fan art is really cool. Let me put game cap. Let me put display capture over game capture. Okay. I'll show it later. Okay, I'll show it later. Jar. This is the message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger. Are you serious? Are you serious? What blue badger? This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he just gonna speak the killer's name? That thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar. What message? What message? What do you mean? Look closely, you could see a faint trail of blood. Yeah. Someone wiped the blood away. Yes. But what does that have to do with a message? Yes, but notice. For some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there's a line here. Drawn in blood. I just did the... Gave a hint. Yeah, it's... I picked the jar and it was correct. You were right. I picked the jar and it was correct. So what you're saying is that these dots were once the lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. Some parts of a message is erased, I guess. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All you need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent. No. Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal to us the answer. I'm gonna connect these dots to make letters. Tell you one thing the victim would have written, given circumstances. Are you really? Given circumstances. His murderer's name. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to connect the dots? I know it's some part of a message. I think that's an A. Oh, this makes sense. Oh, I had to draw lines. What is this? What the heck is this? What the heck? Oh wait, I do this. A name with 3 letters. Oh, I was thinking of another. That literally makes Emma guilty. I have to connect the E. Emma. 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 I don't think I'm done though. Emma. It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Yeah, it's an M. It's A. Emma. Well, he said 3 letters. I thought it was gonna be Gant. To be honest, I thought it was gonna be Gant. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Oh boy. Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Gant, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Eck. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter. Even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery, ultimately the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there like it wasn't his fault? Order! 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 The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be continued. Let's go. Let's finish this, chat. We're gonna finish this. We're going to finish. February 25th, 12:06. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, she asked me to give this to you. There's a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about this just the other day. You must know the two rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You can at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. I guess I'll need give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped in a pocket. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, Detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death, and now you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25th, 1252, District Court, Courtroom Number 9. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mrs. Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls for the witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have, struck a bargain? You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution would not allow the defense to call forth... The prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. That is settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial's as good as over. The defense calls... Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. It's this dude! Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. Alright, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You're aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal? Yeah, Edgeworth has a problem taking names. That is very true. Oh, and I forgot to mention, today is Christmas Eve. Which is why I streamed this today. It's because it's almost Christmas. But you see, almost Christmas means it isn't Christmas. So I can make this joke today. Haha, I'm so funny. I'm so funny. Laugh. Do it. Laugh. Laugh at the overused Ace Attorney joke that I made. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, as such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may begin his testimony. SL9 incident. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seemed Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. A cowardly one runs away and we found a contradiction. Yeah. Imagine that would happen. It's almost like he's not the big man we think he is. The big tough man we think he is. Yes, you were. As I recall, ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. So the two of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say, he got lucky. This is about a power outage. Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden and I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. That's not funny. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying on the heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor. Yes, apparently he had hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means... You found the body near Lana's desk? That's right. I think you said earlier, it was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. Anyway. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office. That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt. Removing a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'd better off staring at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. Which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. So he says he has nothing to do with it, and that's the obvious contradiction. That contradiction is extremely obvious. Let's check. Let's look at this. So, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department, and unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the cases on trial. Case on trial. What about this? You had it in your desk. But what about this? You had it in your desk. Man, I have 3 whole pages of evidence. That's crazy. Yay. You claim you have nothing to do with the forgery, but I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Skye drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of his jar that was sitting in your office. It was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? What do you mean, you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. Yeah, we found the last piece of the jar in his safe. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My. Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment. And a list? For all I know, you could just plant them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I participated in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand I'm Chief of Police, right? There will be consequences. Ooh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges. You won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but we might wait until tomorrow to do that. For that. Today is, well, you know. Alright, Udgy. In return, though. I know, that place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? They actually had, when he said, I found a mistake. I found another mistake. They had the wrong name for when Gant said, alright, Udgy, in return, though, they said Judge, which is not him. That's a mistake. Huh, what are these guys, telepathic? They scoot up there. Capcom scoot up. I don't know, maybe the judge was talking to himself. Maybe the judge was talking to himself. I'd appreciate if you stop making these ridiculous allegations. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped... Mr. Wright, what do you say? Anyway, you can't prove it. You didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're gonna need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when Rhino's prints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. Grr, I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Righto. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they're found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, wouldn't that be convenient? Right? The chief is talking about a possibility. As long as you can't rule that out, your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Righto. Think about it. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there's one very large benefit you reap from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would of course be the position you have, Chief of Police. You have. Oh, I keep thinking that the sentences are gonna go on longer. I keep thinking like he's gonna say like, oh, the chief, like the title you have gotten, but it was just have, and now I had to cut myself off in mid-sentence because I can't read. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to chief. That in itself is a sufficient motive. Ho 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 ho! Oh, that's a good one. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Gah! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people to look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. So we did change up his testimony. So we got that. I'm gonna press again. Nothing in it for you. Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lena's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be relaxed enough on yourself, though. Ho ho ho. Oh, that's a good one, Worthy. Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone else out? There might be an accomplice, chat. Alright, chat, there might be an accomplice. What do we say? Alright, what do we say? There might be an accomplice. I'm just gonna go the whole 9 yards. I might just save here just in case. We're gonna point someone. We're gonna point the finger. True, you might not help out anyone for their sake. Point first, think later. But if it might benefit you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand. That's not what I mean. Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence? Well, who else but... What do we think? What do we think? Who would help forge evidence? He's using Lana for years, blackmailing by revealing the murder of SL9. Well, didn't she say she forged evidence? I mean, she said it. But that was to get her even more in trouble. Yeah, that could just be to get her in even more trouble. You could help Chief Gant forge evidence. He helped himself. He has one accomplice, and that's him. He actually has 3 accomplices. Him, himself, and him. It's been so long she played the sake. Hey, hi, Ty Shadows. Welcome to the stream. I'm glad you're here. I think we're almost done. We're on the latter half. So, and I'm here, doing this. Chief Gant might have been an accomplice, had an accomplice, and it might be Lana. Yeah, perfect someone to use. Yes. And that could just be to get her in even more trouble. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's Office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. You mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. You gotta go. Alright, see you, Tanya. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. 1 AM. Yeah, you're fine. You go to sleep. Your motive, to appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her. Yeah, the judge is dumb. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? He's very senile. Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana? Yeah, everybody in this courtroom is incompetent. For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless That is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone had been controlling her. Worthy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What do you mean, Your Honor? Is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the chief is now making Lena take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest-ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That is impossible. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier-to-understand language. That is a threat he made, Your Honor. He actively threatened you. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. Could you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking, I'm gonna save. High-ranking, I'm saving. That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. Everyone equal under court of law, Your Honor. Except for the prosecution, they get a lot of headway. I see. They get a lot of leeway. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Well, let's think a little bit. Let us think a little bit. Yeah. Let us think. I have a few ideas. I have a few ideas. So he was an investigator. He was an executive investigator. You know what I bet? Shows us evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. You know what I think? I think it's this, evidence law. You know, remember this one? Where I think I can figure this out by myself. So, I'm pretty sure I can figure this out by myself. There's two things it can be. One is something in here. We kind of, because you remember the DL6 kind of carried us. But there isn't really a lot of things here. But, so there's this. That it can be this. But it also could be this. Because no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department, and he's chief of police. So he would have very much reason to hide evidence. Or he could not accept evidence because it works against him. Those are my two theories. I have two theories. So I'll do evidence law first. If that's wrong, I'll do the SL9. I'll do the SL9 files. Those are my two ideas. So I'll do this one first. Well, Chief, as long as Righto here is tossing out things regardless of their relevance. Mind if I toss something too, Udgy? This shoe should do nicely. I'll chuck it right at you. You always were quite the joker, weren't you? Oops. It's like I got it wrong. Okay, that's wrong. Don't oops me. Maybe this boot to the head would knock some sense into you. I know it's hard with all that's gone on during this trial. Send me the evidence of Goodman's murder. Yeah. But try to think back to what happened in the evidence room 4 days ago. When you mentioned it, we did find something during yesterday's investigation. Something that proves Gant entered the wait. Is there any... Oh, Goodman! Okay, wait. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm thinking about the entirely wrong thing. I was thinking about the entirely wrong thing. I'm sorry. I am very sorry. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Okay. Sorry, I'm sorry, I was thinking about something completely different. We kept on talking about the... We like, kept on talking about the SL9 incident that I kind of forgot this all happened. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777. Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits. You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number in that list. No need to be sorry, it happens with playing Phoenix, right? Yeah. It happens a lot to me. You know, it happens a lot to me. Chief Gant, you enter the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order, order. Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Detective Goodman wouldn't happen to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Landeskai's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting? In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. I'm going to have to save. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Well, I'll tell you. You know what? Lie detected, Your Honor. Yes. Lie detected. Let's go. Let's freaking go. Well, it's pretty easy. Check. It's all on the same day, February 21st. Well, it's this again. Isn't it just the ID card record again? Well, I guess we would need the exact time. Well, I guess we would need the exact time. Let me think about this for a second. Let me think for a second before I just submit the ID card record again. Read the description of the lost item report. There's a description? There's no description. Oh. Can only be submitted to the Chief of Police. What am I doing? Of course it wouldn't be the same thing twice. Well, it might have been. Ah, okay. Can only be submitted to the Chief of Police. That's what he was doing. Let's go. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. Thank you. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have then given that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way that the murdered Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait, the Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. Yet you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! Chief Gant, you didn't. The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lena at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And anyone was unaware that Lena stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Demon Gant. Sure. Yeah. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us how this source is evidence that is saved. So he said it was useless evidence. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. This thing! This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. A parking stub? Miles Edgeworth. You mean... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. You mean I carried the victim's body? Precisely so. But wait, even you know I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me, why? I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. So you see, what you were really taking to the prosecutor's office wasn't a screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation: to transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous, weak accusations? Yeah, revelations are piping hot. Let's go. Think back to the photograph Mrs. Starr took in the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe... your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. You have to get going if we're gonna make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination hasn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. there are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, I think I'd land and dispose of the body? If so, let's show you proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court would not tolerate it. Hold on, he runs away. Yeah, he's currently running away. This court would not tolerate any accusations. I guess the wild Damon Gant got away. The court would not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body? Do you have any concrete proof? Heck yeah, I do! I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence. Then please hurry up. Hold on. Just so I can have it closer. Then hurry up, and please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt. Well, it's a good freaking thing I have it right here. Where is it? I'll get it. Okay, I need Goodman evidence. I need Goodman evidence. This thing! It's the memo! Here. It's the memo. Here. So, what exactly is this evidence? It's proof, as to whether or not it's enough to demonstrate the chief's guilt. I'll let you be the judge. But I am the judge. Oh, right. Well, what do you think, Your Honor? What do you think, Mr. Wright? I'm gonna be late for lunch. I guess it wasn't enough. Please, Your Honor, give me just a little longer to consider. I'm gonna load my save. Hold on, I'm loading my save. Okay, let's think about this. I thought I had it, but it's okay. That's alright. So we have Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman. We have to think. We have to think. Which is something I can do. Which is something I like doing. I like thinking. So we have, let's go over this again. We have this. I'm not gonna need this. All the evidence that we need is all the evidence from the. Can I give a hint? Yeah. If you want to. Because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to figure this out by myself. Brought back to his office by Gant's request. My best guess is the screwdriver. This is my best guess, but I know that's probably not it. I know that's probably not it. Let me look at this picture again. Yeah. This may hurt you, but what? Is that correct? You're supposed to say I don't have. Well, hold on. I was supposed to say I don't have evidence. Okay. Oh, so I just lose. Oh, I was supposed to lose. Give me a second. So let me save. I thought that would. Wait. So I saved at the wrong time? Ah, shoot. Ah, shoot. Did I screw it up? Did I screw up? Well, I'll try it. Alright, I'm gonna try. I saved at a really bad time. Because I thought it was right. Yeah, I screwed that up. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will now tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you have any concrete proof? I think I have another chance. I have another choice. Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Mrs. Sky dispose of his body? Have any concrete proof? Oh, okay. Oh, thank God. I thought it was like automatically going to have me just present evidence over and over again until I lost. But I do have a opt-out button. It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. See, Udgy? Thank you. Thank you. In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? Here's a tip. Never gamble what you can't afford to lose, Righto. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Udgy, I'll leave the rest to you. Yeah, it does kind of suck when you have, like, a forced to lose option. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to the senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Wah! Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? It's a bit devil to put, like, present evidence button when you don't have evidence. It kind of is. It kind of is, since it, like, baits players into, like, going and... Because your first thought isn't, oh, it's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to present evidence. No, your first thought is, I presented the wrong evidence, and you're now going to go present different evidence that's also going to be wrong. I've forgotten. The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth. We can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth. I have one. I forgot to save, which is my bad. The defendant? Miss Lana Sky? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Our last chance is Lana. Yep, I figured that out. She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. Her task? To dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor. Very well. The court now takes its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will convene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now Hold on. Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. I was talking to Lana. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible, terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Ah, this isn't good. Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I've got a lunch date to meet. Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. February 25th, 2:04 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Looks like you managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. Chief. He's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. At your office. My office? Sure, I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could you mean... Maya? Well, I guess... There's two girls with top knots. He really blackmailed him in the public court. Yes, and no one's gonna pick up on that. No one's gonna pick up on that, and the ones who do don't care because he's the chief of police. Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said? But Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risks? What do you mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Emma, are you okay? Maya. Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean, to follow Chief Gant's orders? She must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blame yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lena tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued, but we're gonna continue. Let's go. Trial Ladder 2. February 25th, 2:21 p.m. District Court, Courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Mrs. Lana Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Mrs. Skye. The last to be continued. We got this. And remember, you are under oath, and we want to hear the truth. Of course. The truth. Lena, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Yes, that is how being biologically related works. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You have the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant in the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dart convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana! If this is true, that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. What? Is there noise in her heart? Hold on. We have like does she have like noise in her heart? Athena? How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. David Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. So truth is blackmail theory. But think about it, Mrs. Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lena. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, we reached the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself? Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? Sears was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's the only situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up with more lies. Oh, just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. So I think the testimony was changed. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound, and then you moved the body? But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. So either why did you plant the knife, or why did you move the body? So... I might just try, like... Both of these are good questions. I think I'll do, like, why did you plant the knife? I'll do the other one. Why'd you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Very well. Let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Mrs. Sky fabricated the knife. Into the tip of the weapon. Okay. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. It's not the most effective way to get him convicted. Either by having the tip of the knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did. I might try it again. Okay, I'll skip this, and then I'll do the other one. I'll do this also. When he showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It's where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. The body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Mrs. Sky moved the body. So are both now here? Okay, so I have one or the other. The pieces of the jar that shattered during my events threatened my plan. Let's see. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I've got to get Lena to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Ouch, press. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying. Okay. I thought she was just... I'm sorry. I skipped the dialogue. Hold on. Let me read it. I'm sorry. I'll read the dialogue. She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Okay. So I need to find a contradiction in one or the other. So let's think. I think I pressed that already. Pieces of the jar, you mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I thought it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when he first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. Did you press the text mentioning the jar? I just did. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. You're fine, Umut. It's just you're fine, Umut. Chat delay is annoying. I know. I'm sorry, Umut. I know chat delay is annoying. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar shattered at the time. Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed, but I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyways, committed this fabrication completely alone. So there is a contradiction. There definitely is one. Let me think. So this is the jar. Actually, let me save here. I'm gonna save here before we do anything. We found most of the things by that weird blue badger jar. Yeah, it doesn't even like remotely look like the blue badger. But if you like, squint and turn your head the other way, like if you squint and turn your head sideways, it kind of resembles the blue badger. That's basically what happened there. That's like basically what happened. Alright. So we have a couple of options. We have this cloth, but we don't know. We don't know yet what this means. We don't know yet what this means. We have... I think I'll try the jar. I'm gonna try the jar. Yes, that was right. This is Sky. I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony. You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on the jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have yet been broken before he died. Ah. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order, order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. You may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're heading. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may not continue her testimony. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Do you mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I was Chief Prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Alright. Got that done. The jar was already broken? It's a miracle this thing hadn't broke earlier. Assuming it looks as feeble as the defense's case. Not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally it would have. But it's dark in the room and didn't have time to check it out. How? So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them into dust. Well, that helps my case. Amanda, you'd do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. Be safe, you wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lena, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. That's a large shirt. How could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. The detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never missed anything. I got every last piece. Okay. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Alright. I have drink of the water. Very nice. This bottle. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. That's true. Yeah, that is true. Final fragment found in Chief Gant's safe. I'm gonna save just in case I didn't. And then I'm gonna go and do this. You're correct. Mrs. Sky, I believe this jar concludes... excuse me. Mrs. Sky, I believe this jar conceals the truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was... still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off them. Yes. Which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss. Let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Huh, could you believe that? Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Yeah. No. Order to yourself. Wait. I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived on the... Hold on. Alright, sorry. Damon Gant arrived on the crime scene prior to the witness. And he proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Mrs. Skye became the Chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So you do tell foul lies like that. So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? Mrs. Skye, please testify once more. He didn't deny it. Well, he didn't deny it. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Mrs. Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Also, I had a man's voice for a little bit. Isn't that weird? Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Damon Gant arranged the crime scene to look like Emma did it in the most evil way. And the worst part is... Oh wait, I should probably wait. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana says she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Check that evidence again. Must be a picture in there somewhere. Hold on a second. A thing. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. But because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged everything. Lana's picture inserted into the court record. Mr. Wright. That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be... Cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with this cross-examination. As long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. I gotta bounce, but watching you play Ace Attorney was fun. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you! Thank you, Ty Shadows. You have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body. Wait. Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What, now you might make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? And that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Hold on. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma should be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. If you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present the piece of evidence? You want to show us who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? If I present the wrong option here, I'll get an unlimited penalty. Yeah, that's like an automatic game over. But I think I know which one it is. I know which options it's gonna be. I'm gonna say cannot. So if I say cannot show evidence, then I'll be like, oh, I don't got anything. And then Gant says, yes, you do. You have the thing that you got from my safe. And then the judge is like, what? You had that and were concealing it from me? You'll be forbidden from practicing law in this state ever again. Don't get out of here. Go home. Get out of here. Go home and drink your sorrows away, cause we're not gonna be having you in this court anymore. Or something along those lines. So I'm gonna show the evidence. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. Alright, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the Chief's. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows that actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. It was Emma. It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it looks like it was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. Phoenix got arrested for the 5th time. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? Tell the truth. They're Mrs. Skies. Mrs. Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So I really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? But... Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. No. It appears we have our killer. No. No! Yeah, I'm guessing that was the bad ending. Okay. Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lena alone was found guilty on all counts. Yeah, that was... Okay, I thought it was gonna be just forgery. Okay. Well, good thing I saved. Well, it's a good freaking thing I saved. This is why you always save. This is why you always save. You cannot show evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie. Chief Gant, I just wanted to see what would happen. You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. Inconclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. Alright, I just wanted to see. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? Looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. The only weapon that has weight on the court is saving. Yep. I saved my game. You mean you have this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Honestly, I just wanted to see what would happen if I picked both options. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lena. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lena. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Mrs. Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dart convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid two pieces of evidence. This was before Lena arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hit the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lena to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Oh. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant. You were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's chest vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do this being cheap. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm coughing. Hold on. I need to drink more water. I'm sorry, I'm coughing. Okay. I'm drinking the water. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that being chief and all. It's a lot better than being portrayed as murderer. You showed how they confirmed that you forged the correct timing. Alright, I got it. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here. I can save again. I'm gonna save again. I'm gonna not show. Can I not show the evidence again? I'm gonna double down on not showing the evidence. No, it's too late to show the evidence now. Besides, even if I did, it just exposed that poor girl's fingerprints. Right? Think hard over the circumstances. The circumstances, talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Aren't you waiting for that difference? So, Edgeworth figured out my plan. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna present the evidence. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut off this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. It's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather must have been a strong impact on it to be left so clearly. You mean it could not have been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh, you're as slow in the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is Miss Emma. Emma? Emma Skye? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why don't you tell me? Oh. You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along. You still tried to pin the murder on me. It's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Mrs. Skye, you knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Mrs. Skye, it's not over yet. What? I said the trial isn't over yet. Ha, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. Have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you gonna tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Imagine they saying they're Edgeworth's prince. It's like, he did it. He was the one with the car. He brought it the body. He did everything else. The rumors are true. Screw Edgeworth. Oh, what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. I'm gonna save. I feel save time coming on. I feel the time to save coming on. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Wait. Let me think. I saved, so... Yeah, stab in the back. Compare the cloth with the photo. Yeah, you have that. Big ol' thing. And this. Okay, I'll do the cloth. I mean the photo. I mean the photo, sorry. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the photo, this is the picture Mrs. Skye took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. It's only natural. His lungs no doubt was punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth was not bloodied. Wait, there's no blood on it. Since Emma Skye's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Mrs. Amanda Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled on the armored sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut off this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Yeah, Gant was an idiot who took the cloth before attaching it to his sword, yeah. He's an idiot. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! It's finally all over. Oh, that was close, Righto. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Order, order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji? Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth seems to be legal evidence. But that's not fair! Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son! I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Hold on. Save. This is probably the last save. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal. Evidence. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then, it's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Ajit, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was non-violation of the law, then do so now. Well, of course, it's in the book. It's in this book. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. It wasn't relevant. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No, he's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest? Oh, yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insists on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. If the evidence transferred out, lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please be open to the investigation, Chief? You can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand this all over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Grr. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how could you get Mrs. Sky involved in all this? Well, she had much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So he took the evidence from Gosh, I have to drink water some more. I'm sorry, I have to drink some more water. Okay, I'm sorry. So much talking. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So... you left the jar fragments in gloves. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than committer. And the bitter taste of truth, and the bitter taste of truth, and the delicious taste of water. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, gee. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Reggie. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to say that word. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Mrs. Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, It seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Mrs. Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Mrs. Sky. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. Hey, Lana, do you want to drink some coffee since the case is solved? I know a very nice restaurant too. Yes, it is the place where... It's the place where they were supposed to have their lunch date. Done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Mrs. Sky. Yes, Your Honor? You're innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial would be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, the court finds the defendant, Mrs. Lana Sky, not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned. February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby Number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around duty. And top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again? Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal. Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Lena! Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. Gumshoe's luck at interrupting things. He did it 3 times. He's done it 3 times. He is God RNG. That day, 2 years ago. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis. I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you would look at me with those eyes of yours. You know, how people look at people. With eyes. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you're only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. And hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Ah, hug. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt, watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Sad that Lana would still stay at prison. Well, it's prison for years. Well, I guess we can still visit her when we can. Where is he hiding? I just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth. Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down when you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, let's show him what Lynn is talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. What's this? That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth. If you excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Yeah, Edgeworth is really asocial. He's an introvert. Yeah, Edgeworth is an introvert, or maybe he just has a lot of trauma. I don't know. Either way, either one. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell. I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't even supposed to be out of jail like this. The longest case on the trilogy solved. Let's go. I did it. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, haha. You see, Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Yo, that's cool. I like that. Alright. But, yeah, let's watch the credits. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'll be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Anyway, I know Gumshoe got arrested for bribery. We need to defend him. That's the next game. That's gonna be the next game. I know it's like a fan game. Yikes! I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'll be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily. Nice effort. They really did a good job with this game. There are some gameplay elements I don't like. There are some gameplay elements that, like, I'm not a fan of, but the game is good. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dick Gumshoe. Yeah, the art style of the characters are like really good though. There's that freaking blue badger. Yes, it died. Yes, it finally died. L blue badger. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Mrs. Starr managed to sneak this in for me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? Please go away. You and your theme is in my nightmares. Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller about exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. How am I gonna know which side's the right way to eat it from? I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, I gotta go. Feels good to finally have this case over and done with after 4 streams. It was stressful, but I got it done. Ah! Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. I don't know why I screamed at it. Sometimes I do mishear you and your objection. Still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mystic Maya! Afternoon training is about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick. Oh my gosh. I just realized, for Pearl, I'm gonna have to make my voice even higher than it was for Emma and Maya. That's gonna be something. Maybe like, Mystic Maya! You know, maybe that could work. Sorry, spoilers. Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth? I brought you your tea. What's going on? That's probably gonna be funny to hear. I have to do the voice of an 8-year-old child. Again. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. I always wondered why you should let Maya channel the victim of the case and as his or her murderer. Well, there is a couple of... I'm gonna save this. There's a couple of things. So first off, Emma has to know what they look like. Like, they have to know their face and their full name. So she has to be pretty, and their true name. So she has to be pretty familiar with them. Oh, I probably could have. I'm sorry, I was talking, I didn't see the picture. I was talking so much I didn't see the picture. You know what? I'm gonna look up the picture so I can just see it. I just want to see the picture, honestly. I think I know which. Well, I want to show you on stream just in case you haven't seen it. Also, I know I use Yahoo, but alright. It looks like this. I'm sorry, I use Yahoo, I know. But this is what that was supposed to look like. Just in case anyone was curious. I think I already knew about that picture, but I just wanted to show you. Also, yes. So that was the picture. I'm sorry, I was too busy talking to click on that. I'm sorry. I was talking about Maya, which is not a bad thing to be talking about. I like talking about Maya. So before we go, I had mentioned earlier. Have I finished the other games before? This is my first playthrough of all the games. No, this is my first playthrough of all the games, but I am familiar. I mean, I've gotten into the fandom before I played all the games. So like I know about like all the memes and like all the pictures and all that stuff. I know about all that. But I don't know all the details. I don't like the game. I don't know the gameplay aspect. That's the one part I don't know. But if you look at my other videos, you see like I do Ace Attorney content. That's not like. So this is my first actual playthrough of the games, but this is not my first interaction with Ace Attorney. That's what I meant. And also, I wanted to show you the fan art that Cheese made, who is one of my pretty long time viewers. And she's been a viewer for a pretty long time, like a couple months. She's been here. She's been here for a couple months, and she made fan art of me and Ace Attorney. And I would like to show it to you. I just go on Discord, and this is what it looks like. And I just want to say I think it looks really good. Because, so this is me, basically kind of like my, well, OC, quote-unquote, because I'm a piglin. I'm a Minecraft piglin. That's my banner and profile picture. So that is who I am. But, like, look at that. Like, she made that. She traced all of the... Yes, I think that's supposed to be like a desk slam animation. Like, she traced out all of like the background elements of the courtroom, which I think is very cool. So that is her fan art. by Cheese here. That is who made it. Also, there's just a server. Okay. Yeah, there is big work there. I have a lot of... there are a couple people... A couple of my viewers are artists, which are actually is really cool. I think that's really cool that they're artists. And they support me that much to make fan art. I mean, I would have never seen it coming. I'm truly grateful for them. That they put in the work to make those great drawings. My personal Discord server is inactive, but I've been in Tanya's, the other person in chat you saw, Tanya's. I've been in her Discord server, and that's like where we mainly talk. But yeah, I thought it was really cool. I just wanted to show you. Alright. Justice for All next. Well, let's just see. And I can move on to Justice for All. Well, later. I just want to make sure I'm doing it right. We can move on to Justice for All. Oh, look at that. Of course. I mean, it deserves to be shown. At least I think so. Alright, well, that is gonna do it for today's stream. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button. Yeah, Justice for All. And the third game is a lot harder. Well, I can probably get through it. I can probably get through it. I just might need to use a couple of tutorials, which is fine. That's okay. If I have to do that, then so be it. If I have to use a walkthrough, then so be it. But thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to press the like button, comment down below if you want more Ace Attorney. And also, what game should I play tomorrow for Christmas? Because I don't know, I'm thinking of a Christmas themed special. But I might just play a regular game. I'm thinking of doing a Christmas special. But I don't know what game to play. I'll think about that later. And, of course, subscribe if you're new. I'd greatly appreciate it. And that'll be it. Again, thank you all so much for watching.